They all have different tricks that allow them to get AP. There you see Big Daddy trying to make it out of the water, doesn't want to get hit by Sharky.
You almost feel bad for Parappa when Nathan Drake pulls out a gun and shoots him at point blank range. That was never meant to happen in the original vision, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like Parappa's a little disadvantaged, I guess because in his series it's mostly about love and sunny funny and, you know, rapping.
Learning how to drive.
Exactly.
Holding your water.
That's right, that's right, and also saving his hometown from an alien invasion by the Noodle aliens in the second game. But really, actually good at the kung fu.
So what's happening here in the background?
So
looks like some Hot Shots Golf folks.
That's right. The Sandover Village has been invaded by the golfers of Hot Shots Golf, and of course, anytime they see a green, they're going to start teeing off. It just so happens that there are R4 players in the way. If they stand in the way of the golf balls, they'll actually get that super energy, that AP meter knocked out of them. So they don't want to be in that fire.
All right, that is an RPG.
Yes, the RPG 7, actually from Uncharted. We have an item system in our game where any character can access any item as it spawns periodically throughout the level. It just so happened that Drake managed to grab a weapon that he's very familiar with. Oh, and it looks like Parappa just managed a level 1 super against Drake.
Okay, so it looks like Nathan Drake's getting up there pretty high in the super meter.
So it seems like he's going for a level 3 super strategy. The level 3 super takes the longest to build, but it's also the most powerful. Drake's level 3 super actually inspired by one of the more fearsome enemies from Uncharted 2. I'll leave it as a surprise.
All right, I think I know where we're going with this.
Okay. Looks like he's almost got it there. The Hot Shots golfers are going to rain down a volley here.
I love the little touches. As a big Hot Shots golf fan, you think, how could they ever integrate this into a fighting game? And now we know how. Oh, here we go. Level
looks
3.
Like Drake did pop his level 3, and there goes the sarcophagus. And there you go.
Oh, they turned into the nasty dudes from Uncharted 1.
That's right. So Drake now has Eddie's golden gun. Oh, he managed to kill everyone. And here they go again. They can actually attack him. If the Descendants can gang up on Drake, they can actually prevent him from getting kills.
Very clever. So when you were thinking about that, there's so much lore from 3 Uncharted games, you know, and Angle and Abyss to pull from.
Yep.
Like, it was hard to narrow down where you were going to go with that.
Yeah, definitely. Characters like Drake, Kratos, we also had the same challenge with. They've been in so many games and they've done so many interesting things.
We're almost out of time here. Each round lasts 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yep.
And then find out whoever had the most KOs.
That's right. So it's a ratio of your kills versus your deaths. Let's see here. Didn't look like Kratos. No Big Daddy, no
little
Parappa.
sister.
And yeah, Drake took it.
There we go. So you can end up with a negative score.
That's right. So every kill is worth 2 points, but every death is worth negative 1 points. So you see there, Kratos died twice, so he has negative 2 points.
Yeah, I'm very quickly. I'm like, all right, 4 times 2 months. That is 7. So
that's right.
The code is right. Let's run another match. I want to see a little bit more of Big Daddy. I would love to see what his level 3 super looks like.
Yeah, he actually also has a really interesting play style. He will incorporate different elements from the BioShock series. So you'll see him using plasmids. You'll see Little Sister make an appearance. His level 3 super, very reminiscent of the Rapture city from BioShock 1.
So talk about like working with Irrational. Like how I'm assuming they didn't go, go ahead and make it.
Not at all, but it's been an amazing experience working with the guys at Irrational. They care a whole lot about the fans, and they care a whole lot about BioShock, and so they wanted to make sure that we did the character right, and they've been helping us out a lot with that.
Let's talk about this level a little bit here.
Yeah, so this is Hades, of course made famous from the God of War series. On this level, there is a Patapon invasion that happens. That's the mashup for this particular level.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about this game, I was thinking the Patapons would fit in so well, because I was thinking back to like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Servbot and those little guys come flying in. And
yeah,
so
that's right.
Very pleased as a Patapon fan, managed to work that in.
Yeah, they're most effective, in large groups. So you'll see an entire army eventually march in and give Hades a run for his money.
So we switched out.
Looks
and
like
now
Kratos.
We've got Sly and we've got Sweet Tooth.
That's right.
So Sly can't block, is that correct?
Yes, very famously. We decided that the best way to replicate the true spirit of that character was, instead of just giving him the traditional block and evade that the rest of the characters have, we wanted to play with some of the mechanics, give him a little bit of invisibility. He also has a teleport and various tricks.
What was going on there with Big Daddy? Fire was coming out of his feet. Was that inflicted on him, or was he shooting that out?
No, that's actually one of his plasmids. So he has access to 5 different plasmids from the BioShock series.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, he's getting real close to that level 3. So picking up these orbs is a faster way of adding more to the meter, correct?
That's right. There are various abilities, items, and different attacks that can actually eject the energy meter out of different players, and then once it's out, it manifests as the AP balls, and then you can go and pick those up for additional meter. It looks like, yeah, Big Daddy's really close to his level 3 here. Let's see if he can get it.
Everyone's picking on him. So he just messed up Drake pretty good there. So, well, I think he's just about to get it.
Oh, Drake just did a level 1. That was really cool. Yeah, there he goes. Okay. Getting a little flooded. So the entire level gets submerged. The characters can actually try to float to evade Big Daddy, but it doesn't look like
they're not doing really well.
No, they're trying to get away, but it's really tough. Up.
So you got at least 3 or 4 kills there, and that's what you want to get off of level 3 for saving up for that long,
yeah,
right?
That's right. So, you're playing against...
Sorry, I love that.
Beaver. 3 different characters, and the level 3 supers are expensive compared to your lesser super, so you want to make sure you get as many kills as possible when you do manage a level 3 super.
So, like, are you seeing something where certain types of players save up for the level 3s and then it's all or nothing? Or, like, what would you say, like if we were to put this in front of Justin Wong, you know, or Daigo, what would they do? Do you think they would save up, or would they go for the level 1s?
The economy of the game is really important. This is something that maybe is not immediately obvious when you see the game played, but each super has a different cost associated with it, and that's even different per character. So level 1 supers are comparatively cheap per kill versus a level 3 super. So the most efficient thing to do is to really try to get as many level 1 supers. Now, the level 1 supers aren't as powerful as your level 3 supers, so they're a little trickier to land, and you kind of have to be at the right place at the right time to fire those off. So it's kind of juggling the balance between, do I go for these cheap supers that are going to ultimately get me a lot of kills, or do I go for the very expensive supers where the kills are a little bit easier, but they cost a lot more?
I think we have time. Why don't we run one more match? I want to see Fat Princess. I was not at all surprised last night when Fat Princess won, because her level 1 is lethal. It just seems to be very easy to hit that.
And some of our supers are designed that way. She sees a piece of cake and she has to go right for it. And when she sees cake, nothing can stop her. She's a good example of a character who has really strong supers. They're somewhat easy to use, and so the cost is balanced against. They're pretty expensive, so her level 1 super a little bit more expensive than some of the other characters.
So I've been using the times I've gotten to play here and at the initial launch, or not launch event, but reveal event.
Yep.
I really enjoyed Colonel Radek. And he's a range guy, but I noticed certain levels he's much better at. So the first level we saw from Jack with hot shots, that's very vertical. Yeah. He's not as good, I think, as he is on a more horizontal where he can snipe.
That's exactly right. So any level that has a lot of undulation in it, he's not going to be as effective on, because he needs a little bit of a sight distance to really be able to take advantage of his sniper rifle. A level like this does have some opportunity for that, but then also as levels being constructed, you'll see that his sniper rifle does become somewhat less effective, so he has to adopt some different strategies to be successful. And
Kratos with an RPG, that's something we've all been wanting to see.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit more about the details that you're going. When we first revealed the first 6 characters, and we saw Radek, Jim Sterling from Destructoid, he's a huge fan of the Killzone series, and he was wondering if Sean Pertwee was voicing Colonel Radek. So I assumed that, well, there's plenty of dialogue to pull from Killzone 2, and you can put it in there, but you guys recording all new dialogue.
That's right, yeah. We are reusing no dialogue from any pre-existing games. We're going out and getting the original voice actors. We're capturing all new dialogue. We've written all original stories for all of these characters in our arcade progression, so we got all the old guys back together, and they're voicing their characters.
That's got to be a lot of work.
It is, but it's worth it, I mean, I think that this is what the fans expect from us, and we want to deliver on that expectation.
I'd have to imagine at a game that really addresses nostalgia so strongly, hearing from those original people's got to be good. We just saw that level 1 super from Fat Princess. That thing lands every time.
It's very devastating. It's a little bit slow to start up, but once he gets going, she travels very fast. There's an element of this game that almost has like a fog of war to it, where there's so much going on. Your awareness of where all players are at all times is very important, and sometimes if a character manages to exist a little bit outside of the action, he can sneak up on you and take advantage of you not paying attention.
And we have, there's throws as well, and those are activated. Was it the right stick?
The right stick, right. So up, down, left, right on the right stick performs a different throw. There's a different throw for every direction. Here's the Buzz Q&A portion of the level.
I don't know if I don't recall the mermaid, but
So let's see. It
maybe.
Seems like they're making their choice with the mermaid, but of course, just knowing the right answer is one part of it. You actually have to be up there and be able to hold it. See, Radek got knocked out. So
okay.
He wasn't able to be there at the end, so he didn't get credit for
and
that.
then he ended up losing some of his
AP.
some juice.
That's
AP,
right.
yes.
Moves him a little bit further away from his supers, yeah.
Another nice little detail. Where's that bubble shield from?
The gravity shield is from the Wipeout series, so it's actually a pickup in their game. When you pick that up, you have a little bit of armor on you, and so we replicated that functionality. While you have the gravity shield on, you're impervious to damage.
So now with Big Daddy, we've seen our first third-party character.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to see some more?
You're absolutely going to see more. I will just ask you to stay tuned and await those, but we're very excited to have Big Daddy, and yeah, we're going to have more, and it's going to be great.
Okay, and speaking of more, we are going to be doing a lot more here while we're at E3. I want to thank you very much.
Naomi here with your IGN Live E3 show. So, have you ever wondered if Fat Princess could take on a Hellghast? If you have, you need to really seek some help. However, don't fret, because you might find out the answer in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Thank you so much, Naomi, and welcome back, guys. I have the pleasure of being joined by Omar. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Let's jump right into the game. Let's talk about what are you guys showing PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yep.
I gotta make sure I get the name right. What are we seeing at E3?
Well, of course, yesterday at the press conference, we announced that we were going to be on the Vita.
Excellent.
And we have,
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have full crossplay. So PlayStation 3 or PS Vita, you're essentially getting a almost identical version of the game. Of course, on the Vita, we'll be taking advantage of all the cool functionality that it offers. But you'll be able to play anywhere in the world. If you guys are on the same couch and you've got a guy on the PS3 and a guy on the Vita, you guys can play together over PSN. It's essentially platform agnostic. It's almost the exact same game.
Excellent.
And then, of course, we have 2 new characters.
Yes, this was the big news.
This is,
as we love the Vita, but
sure.
The big news is these 2 characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most often question I get is, who's in the game, who's in the game?
Right,
so,
of course.
Very excited to announce Uncharted's Nathan Drake and BioShock's Big Daddy are added to the roster. So,
excellent.
Yeah, really excited
Another
about
congratulations.
those guys. Thank you. Offer really cool play styles, something really new and original to the game. We're really happy to have them.
Excellent. And because originally we had the set of 4 that we saw most often, and that we got Fat Princess like Cooper, we had Sweet Tooth,
Kratos.
Oh, and then there was the Hellghast as well.
Right.
Yeah. But this is the first time we get to see, and I think we're looking at Big Daddy here right now, correct?
Yeah,
Getting
wow.
Super?
Already has a level. That's actually his level 3 super. He can submerge any level in our game underwater, very reminiscent of Raptor.
Yes, of
and,
course. This little game called BioShock.
Perhaps
that
you've heard of
someone
it.
may have played. Excellent.
Yes.
And so that was, okay, so it totally changed the level. I like
Yeah,
it.
it
Very
submerges
nice.
the entire thing in water, and the other guys are kind of swimming around trying to get away from him, and he's just, once Big Daddy gets started, it's really hard to stop him.
Excellent. And explain for folks that might not have seen this game yet, you're building up a super in order to then score points.
Yeah, that's right. So each player has 3 supers, and you access those supers by filling up a meter. the more you fight, the more the speeder grows.
Right.
We have a level 1, level 2, level 3 super, and they're each a little more expensive, but the more expensive they are, also the better they are at scoring points and killing your opponent. So your level 1s are a little cheaper, a little harder to use. Your level 3s, super powerful, really easy to use, but like I said, a little more expensive.
And the world submerging super we saw, that was level what?
That was level 3.
That was level 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So he can't do anything more impressive than that.
No, and we're really trying to capture a lot of the sort of the cool moments from the respective worlds. So,
right, absolutely.
You know, obviously, BioShock 1, all about Rapture and being submerged in water, and so we wanted to bring that out in his level 3 super.
All right, awesome. Now, if you don't mind, we got to talk about Drake.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's throw Drake into the mix.
Drake, really excited to have him as well. He's a cool character because he's got a lot of stuff that he can do. You know, he's got a lot of guns and gadgets, grenades, and things like that that he
Can
uses.
he jump and grab onto things?
He can jump. He can grab onto things.
All right. Well, you got really the basics of Nathan Drake down.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. He's not afraid to punch and kick as well. He'll get in there and he'll mix it up.
All right, cool.
He's a real cool, versatile character. He also has some really, witty lines, snappy banter. Really happy with how that character turned out.
All right, awesome. And can we talk about his supers at all, or
yeah, absolutely.
nothing's being kept under wraps?
No, not at all. Actually, if we're lucky, we'll see the guys do various.
Although I
supers
think
with
yes, I think someone just won, so we're about to see.
That's okay. They'll go back in.
I love the slow-mo Parappa the Rapper just leap into the air, but it was. Who won there?
Oh, looks like Parappa managed to win there.
Parappa did it. I wasn't able to see if Parappa got any supers off. But,
yeah, it looks like he got a few off there, and you know it's a balance between how many kills
let's
you
see
get
another
and how many
match.
deaths
I
you
kind of
get.
want to see. I want to see Drake do more impressive stuff. So let's
Sure.
get Drake back in the mix there.
All right.
And this is certainly not your full cast.
No, not at all. We'll be announcing characters from
More
now
to come.
until when we come out. Yeah, so stay tuned to that. We're really excited. I think we'll really open some eyes and raise some eyebrows with every new character we announce.
And I love seeing like just the four people like next to each other from completely different games. I can't get over that.
Yeah.
It's kind of trippy.
It's trippy to us every time we add a new guy. We're like, wow, how are we going to make this work? Let's just, make that character as accurate as possible,
Right.
as true to a fan expectation as possible, and I think, we'll do our jobs.
And we are in a Little Big Planet level right now.
Yeah, that's right. We're in the Dreamscape. It's inspired by Little Big Planet. Of course, halfway through the match or so, we get a visit from Buzz, and he wants to have a little quiz show in the middle of Dreamscape. That's fine.
That's fine. He
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants. When they get that famous,
That's
when
right.
it's Buzz, he can do whatever he wants.
Asks the question, gives cash and prizes.
Excellent.
It looks like Drake here's showing a little bit of his arsenal.
Yeah, does he? So you were saying he has an assortment of long and short range?
Yeah, so of course he's got, he's known for gunplay, but he's also known for really getting up close and mixing it up with the punches and the kicks. So we wanted to make sure that we reflected that in his character as well. So he's actually a really interesting character. Has a lot of versatility depending on what situation arises, which we think is, pretty accurate to Nathan Drake.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much? Like obviously, this game sort of fuses the party vibe with like a serious, fighting game. Competition is key here.
Yeah.
How much thought is put into balancing these characters out, making sure that each one of them can stand a fair chance? I mean, is that your guys' goal?
Yeah, it's super important. Like you mentioned, we're definitely going for accessibility. We want these fans of these various characters to be able to play this game and have some fun, but at the same time, we're big fans of fighting games. And we want to be interested in this game not just on day 1, but on day 1,000. So we want to make sure the depth and the balance and the strategy is there to keep players, interested and invested.
Beautiful. Have you guys announced a release date for this yet?
No, not specifics, but we will be out holiday 2012.
Holiday 2012. Well, that's all I need to know. Thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful.
Thank you,
and
sir.
Keep it locked on IGN.com. For now, I will give it back to Naomi.
Thanks, Ryan. And phew, it's been an epic day of game demos and interviews, but we have one more to go. Fittingly, the last game we show is called The Last of Us. This is the newest game from the people behind Uncharted. You won't want to miss it.
When was your first E3? How were you looking up?
My name is Omar Kendall, and I'm the game director at Superbot Entertainment. So each level has quite a bit of interaction to it. The concept that we are using for our levels is kind of a mashup feel. So in this case, we have Hades from God of War presently being invaded by the Patapon armies. So over the course of the match, you'll see Patapon show up. They'll begin to attack the play space. Hades, of course, bad guy, always up to no good. You'll see him attack the play space as well, intermittently. They'll have some play off of each other. It looks like Hades is getting ready for an attack right now. If you jump, you can avoid that shockwave. If you get hit with it, you're temporarily stunned. And each one of our levels kind of has that kind of interaction, both from the level itself and then what we call the mashup, which is, in this case, like I said, the Patapon army. So once it was decided that this was the game that was going to be made, Sony and Superbot, they set about really attracting top-level fighting game talent, both from the development community, people who have made fighting games before, but also from some pretty high-level fighting game players as well. And we have really strong fighting game enthusiasts all over the team and in every department, not just in design, but in programming and animation. It really makes a game like this pretty easy to make. The art director on the game, actually, he's worked on several MMOs, and he gave me a really good analogy one day while talking about the game. He mentioned how on massively multiplayer online role-playing games, it's very traditional for the team to make the warrior class first, because it's sort of the center of the combat system as it exists in most MMOs. So you make the warrior first, and then you kind of build the rest of the classes and the universe around that character. And then after you accumulate all that knowledge, invariably what happens is you go back and make that warrior again. So he starts out as the first character that you make, and he ends up being the last character that you make as well, because all of the accumulated knowledge that you've gathered while making the game goes into making that character that much better. And we've noticed a similar effect on our game as well. A lot of the characters in the builds today are some of the characters that we first started out with when creating the game, and subsequently they're also the characters that have had the most iteration and have gone through sort of the most versions and transformations. I think the character who received the most change recently might be Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth and Kratos were some of the first characters, maybe the two first characters that they made for the game. You can imagine why. And so after a while of playing the character, and he was a successful character, and we had fun playing him, and everyone thought they had done a very good job, but then we sort of looked up and said, is this character Twisted Metal enough? You know, have we done the franchise a service through this character? Because that's very important for us. So when players sit and they play the game for the first time, they very much feel like, yes, this is Kratos, this is Sweet Tooth. Even though Sweet Tooth has never stepped outside of the truck before, we wanted players to feel the essence of the character come through. And so, sure enough, we didn't feel like Sweet Tooth was quite there yet. Took him back to the drawing board, we made some changes, and we think those changes were for the better. First and foremost, we start off by taking these characters and taking a look at their personalities and, again, capturing the essence of those characters, and we bring them over into the PlayStation All-Stars combat system. Eventually, at some point, a play style emerges, and a good example of that is a couple of the characters actually we're going to look at here. In particular, Colonel Radek emerged very early on as one of our really long-range fighters. The best Radeks are going to be the ones who can leverage the large horizontal spaces like in Dreamscape here, to really capitalize on the sniper rifle. That's his forward triangle move. It is the move with the longest range in the entire game. It actually has no maximum range. If Raditz can get a horizontal line of sight on his opponents, he can hit them from anywhere on the map. Let's say the exact opposite of that playstyle would be Parappa the Rapper. Parappa studies Kung Fu under Chop Chop Master Onion. He's kind of a little guy. He's got short arms, he's got short legs, and so he really has to get in close to do his damage. And as such, he's incredibly potent at close range. And characters will note that when Parappa gets in close, he's capable of doing an extreme amount of damage in an extremely short amount of time. So that's just two really quick examples of how these characters have, from very different worlds, developed quite traditional sort of fighting game playstyles. We have not yet met a character that we didn't think we could make fit in PlayStation All-Stars. I think Fat Princess might be one of the best examples of that. Fat Princess is a character who in her own game doesn't really do a whole lot. Is kind of carried around by her villagers all day long and never really demonstrated any sort of combat aptitude. But what we were able to do is take a look at the game, take a look at the characters, take a look at her character and sort of the play style of her game and find what we feel is a pretty successful translation of that play style. So for us, there's no character that's off limit. We sort of welcome the challenge, the opportunity to try to bring something really new and interesting into these characters, but also at the same time making them feel very familiar.
What is the best rating for Parappa's rapping?
We are actually aggressively making sure we accommodate both offline and online play. It's been a long time since there's been a really good sort of gather around the same TV screen and play together experience. And we think this game is going to be a welcome addition to that long tradition. We've focused sets of the game a lot, and we've had that response from those guys who are in the dorms now, and they're like, man, this is going to be that great game at my university dorm. I know we're all going to get together and play together, and I'm really looking forward to that. And at the same time, of course, we are in this sort of modern era of games playing. You have to have the online. You know, I don't live in a college dorm. And I'm going to want to have an engaging competitive experience, and so we have to provide that as well. We think we've got a really good online multiplayer experience. We've got some unique modes, particularly our tournament mode, which we think will be very successful. We can't wait for people to try out, but also some fun modes that maybe aren't so super serious and competitive. Yeah, well, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale will be available on the PlayStation 3 this holiday season.